Today's lesson is going to look at Module 4, Section 4, Composition and Transformations. And that's the first thing we need to understand is what is a composition of transformations. And so it's a combination. Let's think of it. I think of it as a combination of transformations. It's a combination, or you're doing two or more transformations at the same time. So you might be doing a reflection and then a rotation, or a rotation and then a translation, or maybe a translation and then a reflection. Some kind of combination of, in our class at this point, some kind of combination of isometries. And then one that is a particular type or has a particular name here is glide reflection. Right? A glide reflection is where you are sliding it and reflecting it at the same time. And so I always say to think of footprints in the sand. So your left foot and your right foot kind of look like they're a reflection when you're looking at your footprints in the sand. Right? And then obviously as you're walking, you're stepping forward. So it's like it's reflecting and translating and reflecting and translating. And that's just one example of a composition of transformations. And so these problems all have multiple things going on. This one, and this one, this should be P right here, has P, Q, and R as the vertices of the triangle. And we want to move them through the steps to determine the new coordinates of the vertices. And they want us to do two things. They want us to do a translation along that vector, -4, 0. And they want us to do a reflection in the x-axis. And so I have to remind myself, what is the rule for that? And so the rule for that is xy becomes x opposite y. And so I'm going to make new points. Now, if I just think about it here, Q, if it slides left 4, because that's what the vector -4 is saying to do, and then it flips over the x-axis, it's going to be way down here now. Right? P is going to slide over and then flip down. R is going to slide over and then flip down. So there's going to be a new triangle down here where x is negative and y is negative. At least that's what I predict. And so I got to break this through the steps. And so I look at points individually here. So P, 1, 1 is going to first go through the change of the vector -4, 0. And so that makes P now -3, 1. And then it's going to go through the change of xy becomes x opposite y from the reflection in the x-axis. And so my new point P is now -3, -1. And I look at the same thing here for Q. Q is at 2, 5. After I use the vector, it becomes -2, 5. And then my new Q is going to have the coordinates -2, -5 after I use the rule that we wrote down here for x opposite y. Last but not least, and I'll write this one in red just because it might show up a little better over on all those lines. And so 4 minus 4 is 0, and then 2 plus 0 is 2. And so the new R would be 0, -2. And so you could graph those as well, but for us today in our homework assignment, we're just going to be making these lists of points based on the fact that we know a transformation has occurred. I'm sorry, a composition of transformations has occurred. So let's look at this now. We have a triangle ABC. So that's the first thing I want to do is I want to tell myself the points. A is 10, -3. B is 7, -6. And C is 3, -1. And I want to do two things. I want to do translation along the vector -3, -3. And I want to do a reflection y equals x. And I have to remind myself, what is the rule? xy becomes yx. They flip spots. And so the first thing we're going to do is the translation. So 10, negative 3. 10 minus 3 is 7. Negative 3 minus 3 is negative 6. And then the last thing we're going to do is the rule here for reflection. And so negative 6, 7 is my new A. B, 7 minus 3 is 4. Negative 6 minus 3 is negative 9. And so my new B is negative 9, 4. And then for C, 3 minus 3 is 0. Negative 1 minus 3 is negative 4. And so my new C is negative 4, 0. I did both the translation and then the reflection. Same kind of problem. A is negative 6, negative 2. B is negative 5, negative 5. And C is negative 2, negative 1. Now, new things here. I'm doing a rotation of 180 and a translation along negative 2, negative 4. I have to remember the rule here for rotation 180, xy becomes opposite x, opposite y. And so this becomes 6, 2. This becomes 5, 5. This becomes 2, 1. They all became opposite. And then I'm going to do the translation along the vector. And so the new A, 6 minus 2 is 4. 2 plus 4 is 6. Again, I'm using this vector right here. 5 minus 2 is 3. And 5 plus 4 is 9. And then 2 minus 2 is 0. And 1 plus 4 is 5. And so that's how I get from one to the other. I must also point out here that some people would say this is a image and this is a image. If that helps you to think of it as two different transformations and to word them and number them that way, that's fine. I usually don't, but it's okay if it helps keep you organized. The last kind of problem we're going to have is just, are they congruent? Well, yes, they are congruent. 2 and 4 and count the sides. What composition of transformation maps ABC onto DEF? So how did ABC get from here to here? And you could think of it as flipping, you could think of it as turning, you could think of it as sliding, but how did it get here? And so it can't just slide there. I had to do some multiple things. And so this is what I thought. I saw it, I thought, it looks like to me like it turned and then slid. And so my answer in the homework would be a rotation and translation is how I would map it. Right? If I really wanted to, I could say 180 rotation, but that's good enough. I see it. Now, some people today have been saying they see it as a flip and a flip and then a slide. So flip, flip, slide. So if you wrote down reflection twice and then slide, that would work as well. Go ahead and give them a try. I wish you the best of luck.